Hi, I'm Jody Hand, Mrs. Hand Painted, and in today's video, I'll be continuing with my Christmas in July Christmas cards with this really simple and fun brush lettering design that will be just adding a few little accents of some holly and berries and a little bit of paint splatter for fun. This is a really quick and easy card, especially if you're in a crunch time or if you wanted to make a lot of cards and not spend hours and hours on each one. My philosophy with making greeting cards is that they should be really simple and easy designs, and they shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to paint. So this is a great one to try out, and if you want to practice some of your freehand brush lettering or do some different sentiments, this is a great one to try out and practice some of your watercolor lettering. Have fun painting along with me, and if you make one of my cards designs, I'd love for you to share it with me. You can tag me on Instagram, Mrs. Hand Painted.
I'm just going to quickly go over my supplies that I'm using. This is the Strathmore watercolor cards, size 5x7. I'm leaving that flat. I've got a Faber-Castell water graphite aquarelle pencil. You could use watercolor pencils though. And I printed off a couple different sentiments, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings. That is a font called Brilliant that I downloaded from one of the free font websites. And I'm just using my light pad to trace over that. Just wanted to do this instead of freehanding it because I just really like this font and I wanted to kind of have my brush lettering in that style. This is one little hack that I really like to use just when I don't really feel like trying to get really perfect handwriting or my lettering to be really fancy. I just like to trace a font that I really like. So then I can, it also helps me kind of just learn how to do brush lettering in general, just kind of getting that muscle memory built of how to do the letters. So that's a really good way to practice as well. So I'm just tracing over that with my light pad. I'm just kind of trying to center that in the middle of my card. I just thought this would be a little bit easier than me trying to, especially since the sentiment is the focus of this card versus the painting itself. I just wanted to make sure that it looked perfectly centered and it was evenly spaced and the letters were all the same size. So I'm just going to set that off to the side for right now. And like I said, the main part of this card is the brush lettering, but I want to add my little accents first. So I am going to be using my round size 4. This is a Princeton Neptune brush. And I'm going to do my berries for my little holly accents first. And I'm just going to put those on the two ends of the letters. So I'll start here at the end, kind of putting 3 little berries clustered together right above the S there. And then I'll add my holly leaves around that. So just adding those little berries, and I'm leaving a little white speck at the top left side of those berries just to give that a little reflection area, just to indicate that those are round and three-dimensional more. So just did 2 little berry clusters here. And I'm just going to leave, I have quite a bit of that red on my palette because I know I'm going to be using the red for my lettering. And I've just got a deep sap green here that I'm going to do for my holly leaves. What I like to do for leaves, I like to make a line here. I did kind of a curved line, and then I'll draw the outside edges. And instead of painting over a line for the center line, I'm actually leaving a very, very thin white gap along that center line that I drew. And then the other side I just fill in. So I pick whichever side looks a little bit wider after I've drawn the outside edge of it. And then I use that side to leave the little white edge along. And then I fill in the opposite side. So I zoom in on that really close for you to see so you can see what I'm talking about. And this one I'll do 2 leaves, and then on the other one I'll do 3. So I end up with an odd number of leaves. So just a little more pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. So like there, I just left a little white line in the center, and you can just rotate your paper around to help you paint the other ones, and then you won't smear your hand in anything too. So I make kind of a curved line, and then I do a line straight out, a curve that comes in toward the center, and then another straight line to come back to my point. And then I just reverse that on the other side. And this is something if you haven't gotten the hang of drawing these yet, maybe just practice a couple times on a sheet of scratch paper till you feel really comfortable painting these free-handed. Or you certainly could just draw them in a pencil first and then paint them in. That's another option if you are not comfortable with freehand painting these. But Like I've said in a lot of these little videos I'm making with these Christmas cards, is that my philosophy with Christmas cards and any cards in general is something that it shouldn't take you very long to paint, and it should be a quick and simple design because not a lot of people are going to be saving these, honestly. I mean, they might save it for a while or it might end up in a box, but it's not going to be a displayed piece of artwork. So you don't want to dedicate tons and tons of time to it. We want it to be a really simple, easy design that you could replicate many times and make a whole stack of these if you wanted to. So definitely, if you are making Christmas cards, maybe make 4 or 6 of these at the same time and just do each step on each card. Do all your berries, do all your leaves, do all your lettering, and just do them all at once. You can stack them all up. All right, so I got those berries done. I'm going to switch over to my round size 1 for my lettering. And I'm just going to go over the top of that pencil line that I drew and go over the top. And just remembering for your thicker downstrokes is when you'll apply a little bit more pressure. When you go upwards, you'll have lighter pressure to get that thinner stroke. And you can kind of hold your brush at a little bit of an angle just to help you get those thicker strokes as you go downward. And this is why I really like tracing over fonts, is then I can see what areas should have those thicker strokes, what should have those thinner strokes. It really helps you visualize in your head what those strokes should look like when you're using a font to trace. Sometimes we forget which parts should be thick and thin. So that's a nice little, here's my lettering hack for the day, my brush lettering hack that you can try out. So really like how it turns out personally. I really like that. So something you can try out and you can improve your brush lettering skills by tracing over these fonts. And do remember, if you're using these smaller brushes like this, you will have to keep reloading your brush. You can get sometimes one, anywhere as many as 3 letters, 4 sometimes, depending on how much water is in your brush. But I'm going to switch back over to my bigger, that round 4 brush. I'm just going to lay my paper towel across the top half of this so that I don't splatter paint on the back half of the card. So I'm just going to lay my paper towel across that and just kind of tap my brush across the top, and it'll splatter some of the red. And then I'll rinse that out and get a little bit of the green. And when you're doing splatters like this, keep in mind the more water on your brush, the bigger splatters you're going to get. So I don't like to have a lot of water for this particular one. I just wanted some little teeny splatters just to kind of break up that background a little bit. So do that, and I'll dry it really quick before I fold it up.